right at the end here, so this is going to be the last question, and unfortunately it's a little generic, but it's also something that I know everybody wants to hear the answer to. So, what is your advice to someone fresh out of school looking for an artist career at Disney? And that could be DreamWorks, it could be anywhere, but basically breaking into your career. And what is, and we'll just go down. Go ahead, Ruben. What's your advice?
Well, all the studios have a website as to what they are looking for trainees or hirees. So I would recommend finding out what those websites are. It should just be a Google search sort of thing. And then find out what specifically they're looking for. And like if it's a portfolio that they want, like in our day, right, they mainly wanted a drawing portfolio. Now it's a little different. Now I think they put more weight on reels to, animation reels. But when I started, definitely, all they wanted was figure drawings. They didn't want cartoon drawings. They wanted figure drawings, of light drawings.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other stuff, depending. If you had conceptual drawings, that's fine too. Paintings, whatever. Yeah. But they did not want Disney cartoons. They didn't want you to show them your version of Disney cartoons.
Well, they still don't.
Yeah,
really.
I'd say that's not what we want.
Claire, I'm sorry. Were you done?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, and then if you know people who work there, they can also give you an idea of what opportunities there are. These days, a lot of the studios post what they're looking for, who they're looking for.
Yeah, and they're very up to date.
Yeah. And your task is to prepare, kind of find what you like to do and also what you think there are job opportunities for in the future. These days it's kind of hard sometimes to predict where there will be demand for certain jobs, categories. It does change. But so the safest thing to do is actually just follow what you like to do, right? What you enjoy, what your dream job would be, and pursue that. And you have to gauge what the likelihood is that you can get your dream job, and factor that into, and see if there are other things that maybe not as many people thought about doing, right? Jobs.
Because those are going to be the easier jobs to get, right?
Perhaps, yeah. Be aware, do a lot of research on what's out there.
Well, and let me jump in here just because I want to end with you anyway. But this is the day of the internet, and it almost frustrates me because Ruben and I, especially not you so much, but grew up in the days before the computer, and we didn't know how to get into Disney. We didn't, and you weren't gonna find out really until you literally snail mailed them and asked these questions and waited 2 months for the reply, and that's literally how it happened. Nowadays, yeah. So when people ask me, how do I get into Disney? What are they looking for? All these questions. I'm like, gosh, the information is out there in a million different sites, much less going to WaltDisneyAnimation.com and just literally looking at what they tell you. So because people are asking specifically like this question, how do I get into Disney? Go to the Disney website, find out what they say, find that out first, and then go to sort of ask around. Then you also go to the people that are actually doing those jobs. So I want to be a character designer at Cartoon Network. I'm going to go to blogs and sites and websites of people doing that job. I'm going to seek out that show that I want to work on, Adventure Time, say, and find out how did that guy get in. And it's all out there. We've all told these stories a million times, and so you can find out. You could probably even see their work on their website and go, okay, I need to draw at least as good as that guy, or at least in that style, in that case. It's all out there. So, these questions shouldn't be asked really. The question you need to ask is, why aren't I doing what I need to do to get there? And if you back that question up, you're really saying, how do I get that ability? And my answer always comes back to, and this is me being mean again, is draw every day. If you're not drawing every day, because I oftentimes say, somebody says to me, I want to be a Disney animator. How do I get there? What do I do? I want to be there and they're already 20 years old. I mean, they're out of school. I've just graduated and I can't get into Disney. How do I do that? And I say, well, have you animated before? Do you have animation reel? No, I've never animated before. How do you even know if you want to be an animator? Just because you watched Ariel or you watched Beauty and the Beast or even Frozen? You've never moved anything. You don't know how to, you have never animated before. How do you know you want that? Go and do animation. Because guess what? That's what they're going to want to see. They're going to want to see a reel of your animation. And so they don't have time. I mean, we were kind of blessed back in the day where they would train people more than they do nowadays. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, they want you to come in and pretty much know how to do the job, and they'll do a little bit of training. But especially in animation, they expect that you already know how to do Maya. You know how to animate and have a reel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Claire. You be nice now.
Well, I would say the same thing. Like, check the website, and specifically for a visual development portfolio, I'll tell you very things that they're looking for. They're looking for people who can do environments and characters and tell stories, kind of what I was telling you before, but telling stories through the character designs that say something about the character design. They're not going to be looking at they're not looking at the drawing. Let me just tell you this. They're not looking at the drawing that you're doing. They're not looking at wow, the way that girl drew that nose with the ears right there, wow, that's amazing. That's not what they're looking at. They're looking at the character that's coming through and what the character is doing, and hopefully the lines that are making that character are appealing enough to make the person be like, oh, that's a nice drawing, and say something kind of surface like that. But really, they're just looking at what you're trying to express. So make sure everything that is in your portfolio is communicating a story or a feeling that would be something that people can connect to. Because if you're inspired by what you're saying, then the people seeing, or if you're inspired by what you're saying in your drawing, the people that see that drawing will be inspired also. And then hopefully they will continue to inspire, and it's so much better.
So it's not, you wouldn't say that it's about, especially for Viz Dev, drawing something in the style of Frozen, because that's what they're doing, and I want to show them I can do what they're already doing.
Yeah.
Would you say being more original than that and coming up with, because I've seen people that have said, I'm going to take Wicked and make it into an animated film, and they give themselves sort of an assignment, and they do all the character designs, and then they do all the environment stuff. I have a friend that did this, and it was awesome. It made a little mini portfolio to show that this is how I would Viz Dev a Wicked animated film.
Yeah, that's great.
And so that kind of stuff, do you think
Totally.
that would be more appealing than here's me drawing in the style of what I've seen before from Disney?
Yeah, and you do, I mean, you don't want to fall into the trap of just drawing something in the style of Disney style, because that's not original. It's not sincere to who you are, because none of us are Disney. I don't know. That's like a product that it's not a personal thing. But at the same time, you do want to be conscious of that this is Disney, and there is a style. And I don't even want to go there because I don't want to encourage anybody to be trying to draw
I get it. And I would say that in TV animation, they're going to be a much more hey, we need you to draw Simpsons or whatever.
Yeah.
And literally, they'll give you an animation or a character design test or a storyboard test and give you the Simpsons characters, and they'll say, okay, bring it back tomorrow. And if it doesn't look like their style, the Simpsons style, you're not going to get the job.
Yeah.
Disney's not so much that way.
It's not so much that way, yeah.
There's a little bit of that.
It's a tiny bit of it,
Yeah.
but don't let that dictate anything that you do. Just be aware that it's there. And if you're interested in Disney, chances are you're
already there.
Yeah, you're already there.
Great answer to all you guys. Thank you guys. This has been an awesome time, a Q&A. with Claire Keane, Ruben Aquino, and myself. Thank you, everybody.